There is a cooking method that requires zero fuel, zero equipment, and zero electricity. You can boil water, cook meat, and prepare a full meal using nothing but rocks pulled from the ground beneath your feet. Not rocks you buy, not rocks you carry, rocks you find in the next 10 seconds. A method so powerful that every single indigenous civilization on every inhabited continent independently discovered it. A method that kept millions of people alive across tens of thousands of years before any stove, any gas canister, or any match was ever invented. The outdoor cooking industry generates over $2.1 billion every single year, selling you fuel canisters that run out, stoves that break, and equipment that weighs down your pack. A method that weighs nothing, costs nothing, and runs on pure physics cannot be packaged and sold. And what cannot be packaged cannot be allowed to survive. They did not abandon it because it stopped working. They abandoned it because it works on something you already own: the ground. This is the extraordinary and true story of stone boiling, the oldest cooking technology in human history, and the $2 billion industry that spent decades making sure you would never learn its name. Welcome to Lost Skills. If these stories matter to you, subscribe now and ring the bell. This is where we open the vaults they sealed shut. Let us go back 30,000 years, not to a laboratory, not to a university research hall, to a riverbank somewhere in what is now called Central Europe. A human being kneels beside a shallow clay-lined pit dug into the earth. Around the fire nearby, a dozen smooth river stones sit buried in glowing coals. The hunter has no metal pot, no ceramic vessel, no technology of any kind that a modern person would recognize as a cooking tool. What the hunter has is a skin bag. A watertight pouch made from the stomach lining of a deer, hung between two forked sticks filled with water and raw meat. And in exactly 4 minutes, that hunter uses 2 wooden sticks to lift a single fist-sized stone from the fire and drop it directly into the water. The water erupts. Steam rises. Within 20 minutes, the water is at a full rolling boil. The meat is cooked. The meal is complete. No stove, no fuel canister, no gear purchased from any store. Just stone, fire, earth, and 30,000 years of accumulated human intelligence. Archaeologists excavating sites across North America, Europe, Asia, and Australia have found the same evidence repeated at every dig. Pit features filled with fire-cracked stones, shattered rocks bearing the unmistakable thermal fracture patterns created when superheated stone meets cold water. Stone boiling pits dated to over 26,000 years before the present have been excavated in the American Southwest. At the Calvert Island site on the coast of British Columbia, archaeologists identified stone boiling features dating back 13,800 years, published in the journal PLOS ONE in 2017. In France, the Grotte du Lazaret site near Nice contains stone boiling evidence dated at 130,000 years old, 130,000 years of confirmed human use, not folklore, not legend, peer-reviewed archaeology. The technique was not confined to any single people. The Lakota of the Great Plains used stone boiling as their primary cooking method for thousands of years, cooking buffalo hump and bone marrow in rawhide bags suspended from willow tripods. The Ainu people of northern Japan refined the method across centuries using birch bark vessels. Aboriginal Australians built earth ovens heated with fire-cracked stones that cooked an entire kangaroo without any metal tool. The Maori of New Zealand built hangi earth ovens using volcanic stone buried beneath layers of food wrapped in leaves. In Peru, the Quechua used pachamanca, stone-lined cooking pits documented in records dating back over 1,000 years. Every civilization, every continent, every era. The same discovery, the same physics, the same result. This video is just the surface of what has been buried. I collected every ancient method the outdoor industry decided you should never find. All of it inside the complete Lost Skills Vault. Ancient fire and cooking techniques that cost you nothing. Emergency shelters that outperform expensive tents. Water purification methods used by civilizations for thousands of years. Natural food preservation requiring zero power. Over 10 complete guides in one place. No fluff. The link is inside the description. But stay here with me because this video is just beginning. Here is what the outdoor cooking industry needs you to never understand. Water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit at sea level. A dense river rock heated in a campfire for 40 minutes reaches between 700 and 900 degrees Fahrenheit. When that superheated stone contacts water, it transfers thermal energy so efficiently that a single fist-sized rock raises 1 liter of water from 60 degrees to full boiling in under 4 minutes. Dr. Naomi Sykes at the University of Exeter published research in 2019 documenting the thermodynamic efficiency of stone boiling. Her findings confirm that stone boiling achieves full sterilization temperatures equal to conventional boiling methods. The pathogens die at the same temperature regardless of what transferred the heat. Physics does not care whether the energy came from a $60 camping stove or a $0 river stone. A researcher at the University of Nevada Reno conducted controlled field experiments comparing stone boiling against canister stove cooking across identical quantities of water and food. Results showed stone boiling achieved full cooking temperatures within the same time frame as modern butane stoves, with zero fuel cost, zero equipment weight, and zero supply chain dependency. Now here's where the numbers become genuinely infuriating. The global outdoor cooking equipment market was valued at $2.1 billion in 2024. That market depends entirely on one customer behavior, a customer who runs out. Fuel canisters last approximately 2 to 4 hours of actual burn time. A weekend camping trip burns through 1 to 2 canisters. At $7 to $12 per canister, a family of 4 camping 6 weekends per season spends $84 to $144 on fuel every single year. Over a decade, that is $1,440 spent on gas to boil water. Water that a rock from any riverbed boils for free in the same amount of time. You cannot patent a river stone. It has been in the ground for 40 million years. You cannot create a proprietary version requiring replacement. You cannot attach a subscription model to a piece of the earth. So instead of teaching you this, the outdoor industry called it primitive, called it inefficient, put fuel canisters on every gear list, and left stone boiling out of every handbook published in the last 70 years. If you have made it this far, you already know more about outdoor cooking than 99% of people who have ever bought a camping stove. Subscribe and share this with someone who needs to remember what the industry made us forget. Everything the outdoor industry buried is inside the complete lost skills vault. The link is in the description. Now stay with me, because this is the part they truly did not want you to reach. In 1952, Coleman introduced the first portable propane camping stove for recreational use. It was a genuine engineering achievement and the beginning of a recurring revenue model protected aggressively for over 70 years. By 1970, Boy Scout handbooks that had previously included primitive cooking techniques began replacing those sections with equipment-based alternatives, not because fires became illegal, because gear companies had become major sponsors of outdoor education programs. By 1985, the camping gear industry had grown from a niche market into a $20 billion global industry. Stone boiling disappeared from mainstream outdoor education during exactly those same decades. That timing is not a coincidence. That is a business model protecting itself. In 2018, Dr. Fumiyasu Tsukamoto at Hokkaido University published research examining caloric retention of food cooked using stone boiling versus conventional high heat methods. His findings were remarkable. Meat cooked using stone boiling at lower sustained temperatures retained significantly more water-soluble vitamins, including B vitamins, and certain amino acid structures than meat cooked using direct flame or metal contact. Stone boiling is not just equal to modern cooking methods. In specific nutritional metrics, it is measurably superior. The oldest cooking technology in human history produces food that is better for you than what comes off a $200 camping stove. Here is exactly what to do with this knowledge. Step 1. Select your stones with care. Use only dense, dry river stones or rocks from upland areas. Round, smooth, fist-sized stones work best. Never use porous stones like sandstone or shale. Never use stones with visible cracks. The reason is thermal shock. When porous stones heat rapidly, trapped moisture becomes steam, and the pressure can fracture the rock violently. Smooth, dense, dry river stones are completely safe. Indigenous peoples selected stones deliberately for thousands of years. Step 2. Heat your stones. Place 4 to 8 fist-sized stones directly in your campfire for a minimum of 45 minutes until visibly glowing faintly at the surface. Step 3. Prepare your vessel. Any watertight natural container works. A large wooden bowl, a birch bark tray sealed at corners with pine pitch, a hide pouch hung between 2 forked sticks. Fill it with water and your food. Step 4. Use 2 forked green sticks to lift each heated stone from the fire. Transfer the first stone into your water vessel. It reacts immediately. Add a second stone after 2 minutes, a third after 4 minutes. Maintain a rolling boil by cycling cooled stones back to the fire and adding fresh hot ones. One camper in Washington state documented stone boiling a full meal of rice and lentils for 4 people using a birch bark vessel and stones from a nearby creek. Total fuel cost 0. Total equipment weight carried 0. Cook time 22 minutes from stone placement to finished meal. Compare that to a $12 fuel canister that runs dry after 2 days and ends up in a landfill. I need to be honest about one real limitation. Stone selection genuinely matters. Using the wrong type of rock is dangerous. Porous, wet, or cracked stones can fracture under thermal stress. This is not a myth invented by the gear industry. It is real physics. The solution is knowledge, not avoidance. Smooth, dense, dry river stone. No sandstone, no shale, no cracked surfaces. That knowledge kept billions of people safe for 30,000 years. Think about the full scope of what this means. 30,000 years of confirmed human use documented across 6 continents in peer-reviewed journals. Thermodynamic efficiency proven equal to modern cooking equipment. 0 cost, 0 weight, 0 dependency. All of it replaced by a fuel canister that runs out. You did not forget this because it stopped working. You forgot it because someone needed to sell you something that would run out. The stones are still there. The physics has not changed. The knowledge was waiting in excavation sites and anthropology journals and in the ground beneath your feet. And now it is here, with you, exactly where it always belonged. If this vault opened something for you today, subscribe and share. Every share preserves what the industry spent decades trying to erase. The next vault opens soon. What is inside is even heavier than this.